right, welcome to the weather world. This is going to be our condensed version. This is our more casual version. This is the version that we do when I'm not at work and in the studio. And so you can see my attire is a little different. This is what I do when I get home. This is the normal me. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through and do a weather world right here at home. And I know Jessica's watching. Hello, Jessica. Is Owen with you too? We're going to go ahead and go through this. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about the weather and what makes the weather. But before I do that, what I need to do is we need to have a great conversation about cookies. Not just any kind of cookie. We're talking about world famous, top secret chocolate chip cookies and how to make them. So let's go through what we need. So when I use this, I have the secret recipe, which is right here. And I'm not going to let you look at it. I promised that I wouldn't let you actually look at it, but I've got some of the things that we need. So when we look at a recipe, there's a list of things that we use to put together the cookies or whatever it is that we're baking. And with this list, we have a list of ingredients, is what we call them. And we have in here, we have our eggs, we have our flour, we've got brown sugar, we've got white sugar, we've got vanilla, we've got butter, we've got our baking powder, we've got baking soda, and we have salt. All these things are essential ingredients to make our chocolate chip cookies. But wait a minute, we're missing something here. Well, if I'm gonna make chocolate chip cookies, what do I need? I need some chocolate chips. And we don't have any chocolate chips. So can I make myself some chocolate chip cookies if I don't have any chocolate chips? No, I can't make any chocolate chip cookies, but I can make some snickerdoodles maybe. We can work on that. But you need to have all the right ingredients. And it's the same thing with the weather. You need to have all the right ingredients. Can you think of some ingredients that we might need to make the weather? Let's think about that for a moment. We've got our handy dandy whiteboard here. So what are some ingredients that we need? Well, one of the ingredients that we might need is a big one. It's up in the sky. We need the sun. The sun kind of acts like the oven that we're going to use for baking. You're not going to have a lot of interesting weather if you don't have the sun, because you need to have that difference in temperature. You need to have the cold, you need to have the hot, and that really gets things moving around, and we need that for weather. So you need to have the sun. What else do we need? Anybody? Anybody? Huh? Oh yeah, okay. We need some weather. We need some water. We need to have water. And with water, what are some of the things that we can make with water? We can do a lot of things with water. And so we've got clouds we can make with water. We can make raindrops with water. What would weather be like without raindrops? We need to have the rain. We need to have the clouds. What else? Oh, maybe some snowflakes? Yeah, if you like to go snowboarding or skiing or just play in the snow, you need to have those snowflakes. And so we have our little snowflakes that come falling out of the cloud, and those snowflakes are made out of water. What else? With water, we can make lots of things, actually. There's all different types of snow you can make. You can make hailstones. I like to draw my hailstones like that, showing that they have layers. You can make sleet. You can make all different kinds of precipitation that comes from the water. Another thing that you need to have for water, or that you can make out of water with the sun and the clouds. What's this? A rainbow. You can't have rainbows without water, right? And so we need to have the water. So you can make lots of things with water. Water is a very important ingredient. There's some other ingredients we can, but I wanted to stop here because that's the topic for today in my weather world, is water and how important that is with the weather. So let's put this back here. Put that on. So one of the important things about water is that it comes in 3 different states. Most elements do come in 3 different states. You have the 3 states of matter. There's actually 4, but there's at least 3 that we're interested in, especially when it comes to the weather. Actually, there's 4, but the 3 with water that we're interested in. And so water comes in 3 states. So we have the most familiar, no, leave that there. Most familiar is liquid water. So when we're thirsty, we drink water, okay? And then we have solid water. And that's what we're dealing with here. So we've got our frozen water, and it's hard. Remember, never chew on frozen water. Your dentist doesn't like it. So here we have our frozen water. And then we have, what's the third one? It's water vapor. Water vapor. Can I show you water vapor? Not really. But I can show you when it changes into liquid water. So let's go ahead and try to do this. This is an experiment that you can do at home. There's water in the air that we breathe. Now, per volume, so if I have this cup and it's filled with air, it's only going to range between about just, like a 0.1%, a very, very small fraction, to about 4%. So we're talking just a very little bit of this air. If this were just filled with air, how much of the water, this would be water vapor, it's going to be a very small amount. So between 0 to about 4% by volume is what we're dealing with water vapor in the air. So every time you take a breath, you're breathing in that air, you're also breathing in water. Again, you're not a fish, but you're breathing in water, and that's an important ingredient in the atmosphere that we have is water vapor. So here we have our liquid water, we have our solid water, and we're going to see if we can change or convert the water that's in the air into liquid water. So we're going to pour this in. So again, this is something you can easily do at home, is you pour the water in a glass, and you do this all the time. Every time you get a nice ice cold glass of lemonade, this is a process that takes place. And then you know what you do? Is you stare at it. And what has to happen is you have the water, which is pretty close to room temperature, probably a little bit cooler than room temperature. And then you have the ice, which is much cooler than room temperature. And you want to get that water close to the freezing point here with all this ice. Now what happens there is once that water gets really cold, the sides of the glass get cold. And when the sides of the glass get cold, you know what happens? The water vapor, when it touches the glass, it starts to condense. It wants to change. It loses energy is what it really does, is it loses energy. When you have water vapor in the air, it's moving around really, really fast. And if you want it to change into a liquid, you have to slow it down. And so what happens is when that water vapor touches this glass, it starts to slow down and it loses energy and it starts to change back into a liquid. And that's the process, the condensation that's taking place here. It's condensing on the side of the glass, and I can kind of see it with my supervision without my glasses on. I can see that there are little droplets of water starting to form. But we can speed this process up. I already did this a while ago. And you can see it a little bit better here. You can see on the sides of the glass what's out there. It's all wet. This is all wet. My finger's all wet. In fact, the water's starting to drip down the side of the glass. This water that's on the outside of the glass, it's not water seeping through the glass. No, it's not like it's leaking. What we have going on here, it's water vapor that's in the air that as it touches the glass, it condenses, and you get these little droplets of water that start to form. That's kind of like a process that goes on in the air, the atmosphere above us. In fact, clouds, that's how clouds form, is through condensation. And we see that every day there's clouds in the sky. So it's not every day, at least here in California, but it happens quite frequently. And clouds are made up of water droplets, but also they're made up of ice crystals. And so water is a very important ingredient that we have for our weather. Again, without water, our weather would be much more boring and not nearly as beautiful as what we experience every day. So that is my little demonstration that I have for today. Again, I want to keep these short and simple. We've got, let's see, I can't see any comments. There we go. We got some comments. So here's some, Aaron's watching. Hello, Aaron. Rachel's watching. Joanna's watching. Oh, Aaron wants to know about high and low pressure. No, I'm just talking about water today. And we'll talk about pressure some other time. So hopefully this was somewhat interesting. I find it fascinating and I love to learn. And the more I teach, the more I learn. And you can do the same. As you have questions about things, you can go and search for those answers. And once you find out the answers, hopefully you can find somebody that loves to learn as much as you do. And you can share your answers with others. So water, very important, and we're going to cover a lot more about water as we go through the weather world in the episodes to come. But that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed this, and have a wonderful day, and keep asking questions. See you next time.